before SpongeBob, before Blue's Clues. We had the OGs of children's television, Sesame Street and this guy.
Your body is incredible. It's busy every minute. Amazing.
Yep, those were the 80s. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Fumbling Through the Galaxy with your host, Severus Snape. When I think of iconic images in Star Wars, I think of the Death Star, I think of X-Wings, I think of Star Destroyers, I think of course of blasters and lightsabers. And for me, being of the original generation, one thing I also always think of is Stormtroopers.
Move along.
That white armor. That armor that both Luke and Han find themselves in when they're in that trash compactor about to be squeezed to death.
Lock the door and hope they don't have blasters.
It's as iconic to me as all those other things. And what's interesting is, as Star Wars has gone on over the decades, Stormtroopers have actually started to become humanized. We know, of course, that in the prequels, they were clone troopers, all bred and created on Kamino to battle and have accelerated aging.
We take great pride in our combat education and training programs.
Completely disposable. We know in the original trilogy, again, we didn't get to know any of them, and very much disposable there too. But as Star Wars has gone on, we see now in the new shows and movies, they've started to humanize the Stormtroopers.
And who gave you permission to remove that helmet?
I'm sorry, Captain.
We've gotten to know maybe some of them under the helmet. A great example of that is Finn. Another great example, of course, is the Mandalorian in that episode where two troopers kidnap Baby Yoda and have a whole conversation, which I believe one of them, by the way, is Jason Sudeikis, the comedian, and so made it even funnier.
Knock it off. Waiting for confirmation to continue in attack.
So yeah, clone troopers. As I said, you had clone troopers in the prequels, born and bred in Kamino, accelerated aging. As the Galactic Empire was created, Palpatine, due to budgetary reasons and other reasons, started to phase out the clone troopers and bring in the Stormtroopers. And so that's really the difference between the two. And I actually look forward to getting to know even more of them as the new IPs come through. And maybe we get some more backstory of how they are recruited and, you know, how human they really are at the end of the day. And how, like in any army in the world, they are doing what they think is best for the galaxy. Anyways, I'm curious. Are clone troopers or stormtroopers iconic to you? Do you, when you think of Star Wars, are they one of the things that you think about immediately? So leave me a comment, let me know. Also, let me know, who is your favorite clone trooper? Who really, at this point, are really the only ones we've gotten to know. So we know Rex, Jesse, Fives, so on and so forth from the Clone Wars series, which did a great job of introducing us to the characters and the people behind the masks or underneath the helmet, as I more accurately. So I'd be curious, who are your favorite and why? So that brings us to what we're looking at today, and I'm really excited about this. This is actually a Gentlegiant statue, and it's actually a limited edition deluxe statue. As you know, Gentlegiant and Kotobukiya are right in my wheelhouse, as well as Sideshow, and that's really where most of my collecting goes. So this is something that I actually picked up at one of the Toronto Comic Cons, or cons, collector cons. This one is actually the Mississauga Con, and it takes place 4 times a year, once a quarter, every 3 months. And they also have an annual Star Wars and Transformers one, which is really a lot of fun. So I've made a lot of great friends there, had some great relationships, and oftentimes I find pieces like this in the wild, which is really great because, you know, again, I've discussed it before, a lot of these companies are not great at cataloging their prior releases. So it's always fun when you come upon something that you're completely unfamiliar with. So again, this is a limited edition statue. They don't give the scale on the box on this one, but it is in and around 12 inches in size. So, you know, I think that's 1/6 scale is what I would guess. And basically it's this fantastic Stormtrooper that comes in several different poses. And so what's really cool is even though he doesn't articulate, you have about, I think, 4 or 5 different arms and blasters and poses that you can put him in and manipulate him into. So yeah, we're going to take a look at this figure. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to have a look at this one. I think we'll try and pose him in several different variations. I have chosen kind of a simple gun up variation that I will show. But again, there are several different variations that are available to you, and that's what we'll be looking at today. So once again, like, subscribe, share. Let me know what you think of clone troopers or stormtroopers, and let's get to the table and have a look at this figure. Okay, so here we are with the Imperial Stormtrooper box. This again says Imperial Stormtrooper Limited Deluxe statue. One of my favorite stormtroopers that I have in my collection. Once again, said a million times, when possible, get the box. Just love seeing everything and all the work and effort they put into the box. And then here, once again, bit of a great explanation. It says, encased completely in a white armored spacesuit shell and armed with a blaster pistol or blaster rifle, the Imperial Stormtrooper represents the most visible extension of the Empire's might. The Imperial Stormtrooper serves both the ground-based armies of the Empire forces and its space-based Imperial Starfleet. Yeah, like I said, I mean, you can't think of a Star Wars movie without thinking of, you know, these iconic images of the troopers. Again, in my opinion, one of the most recognizable things in all of Star Wars. So let's take a look at the figure. Okay, so here's the basic figure outside of the box. We will go through the different variations, but this is the base, which is upper body, torso, and legs. Once again, certificate of authenticity. So this one they actually only made 1,500, and this is number 338 of 1,500. So again, for me, I get jazzed knowing that there's only a couple on the market or a limited edition, which makes these a lot of fun to collect. So we'll take a look at him in some of the different variations that you can have him in, starting with the blaster look. So again, magnet system. And so here we have arm with blaster up and other arm down. Kind of a one-arm look. Here we have the helmet. And the Stormtrooper basically in this kind of classic pose here. So this is actually one of my favorite poses for this particular statue. I love, again, the detail, the amount of sculpting and everything that you see, even the blaster, or in this case, the heavy artillery gun, as well as the helmet and the armor. Okay, so let's have a look at him with the blaster. Again, the blaster rifle look. Actually like this look a lot. It's not actually how I have him posed, but it is one of kind of the better looks if you're somebody who likes that. And so here we are. Sits nicely in his hand. What's cool about this one, again, is you can take off, what's really the interchangeable part is the neck joint. So the neck joint kind of changes the angle of his head. So here we are. So this is definitely more dead on, straightforward. Again, another great look. Again, detail, great detail. So that's the second blaster rifle look that he comes with. So as it comes to just a blaster pistol, you really have two options. You can go with the straightforward pistol down, hands down look, which again, really, really nice. Not the one that I particularly prefer. I, for one, absolutely much prefer any kind of illusion of dynamic movement, even on these statues. And so I actually like the one with the pistol up. That's the look that I have imposed in my collection. And that's my favorite look with the blaster pistol. What's really neat too is it comes with a separate blaster that fits into this holster. What I like is that this is magnetized as well, and so sits really, really nicely once this blaster is kind of in there. You can see it sits down, doesn't do anything funky, and there you go. One of the things we talked about in the preamble is I guess this was a 1/6 scale figure because I thought it was about 12 inches and measured up to my Hot Toys. So let's take a look. In fact, yeah, it's 12 inches. So 1/6 scale. So that is the Imperial Stormtrooper from Gentlegiant. Stormtroopers are, in my opinion, one of the most iconic images from all of Star Wars, and I look forward to future shows, both animated and live action, that explore more about Stormtroopers. I think we had a missed opportunity with Finn. I wish they had done it a little differently, but it is what it is now. I'm curious, who are your favorite troopers, clone or Stormtroopers, and why? As always, like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. May the Force be with you always.